The U.S. Army will cut 40,000 troops from its ranks in the next 2 years, along with 17,000 in its civilian workforce. Oklahoma hasn't felt the pain of those reductions yet, but future military spending cuts remain possible and could have a major impact on the state's military communities. This report was prepared in collaboration with ONR contributing partner, the Journal-Record.
With its large population of active and retired military personnel, Oklahoma has a reputation as a military-friendly state. The military, in turn, has been very supportive of Oklahoma. According to a 2011 Oklahoma Department of Commerce report, the economic activity generated by the state's 5 military installations contributed $9.6 billion to Oklahoma's gross domestic product in fiscal year 2010, representing more than 7% of the state's total economy. Tinker Air Force Base in central Oklahoma alone generated $4.4 billion in economic activity that year and continues to play a major role in the state's economy. Vince Howey is the Commerce Department's Aerospace and Defense Director.
There are about 26,000 people that work at Tinker. It's the largest single-site employer in the state. They'll issue in the neighborhood of about $6 billion worth of contracts every year. And so there's a lot of interest to be there. There's a lot of activity that goes on.
Earlier this year, Tinker gained 158 acres of land just west of the base to house the maintenance hub for the U.S. Air Force's KC-46A Pegasus refueling plane. The acquisition is the result of a bond issue approved by Oklahoma City voters 6 years ago to purchase the former General Motors plant and lease it back to Tinker.
That was about $55 million, and then they bought the railroad spur behind that, which was around $44 million. So in the last 6 years, they've invested $100 million in property that they've deeded over to the Air Force. That speaks volumes in Air Force leadership. They look at that community and say, wow, this place is really supportive of it.
That support can be seen in the local businesses surrounding Tinker.
It's a great day to live in America. Sir Charles, may I help you, please?
Charles Woods owns Sir Charles the Tailor in Midwest City. Woods says anywhere from 25 to 50% of his business comes as a result of the base's proximity.
It could be their custom suits, it could be the military dress, because you've got guys coming in from different parts of the country and different parts of the state. Now we do a lot of business out in Edmond that the guys work here in Midwest City, at Tinker Air Force Base.
Jeffrey Steele, the owner of Arrowhead Archery Pro Shop in Del City, tells a similar story.
35 to 40% of our customers are either civilian employees or active or retired military that are associated with the base. Well, if they weren't there would be a lot of businesses that wouldn't be open. It would be the impact. We rely on them. I think every business in this area relies on the base and its personnel.
Oklahoma Strategic Military Planning Commission Chair Michael Cooper says in the 5 communities where military installations are located, they're the largest employer with the best paying jobs.
For example, in Enid, Oklahoma, a community of about 50,000, it's approximately $250 million annual economic impact. Again, largest employer, highest per capita income jobs.
Vance Air Force Base in Enid is responsible for training Air Force pilots for worldwide deployment. 580 coffee shop manager Chad Easton says much of the shop's customer base comes from Vance.
This is a great place for them to come study for their flight tests and all that sort of thing. So we tend to get a lot of them in here, and they're a huge part of our lunch hour. People that come in here, approximately 30% of them have a tie somewhere or another to Vance Air Force Base, whether they're a spouse, an airman, work out there on a contract level, because we have a lot of contracts out at Vance that are civilian contracts. People right here in Enid, they have jobs because Vance is here.
Since the mid-1990s, the Air Force has spent more than $200 million to upgrade infrastructure at Vance. Economic studies show if the base were to close, it would cost the area about 15,000 military and civilian jobs.
So you can then see what would happen to the rest of the economy, not just your schools, your churches, but your restaurants and everything else. It'd be very devastating.
Fort Sill Army Post in Lawton had an estimated economic impact last year of $1.8 billion. Retired Major General and former post commander David Ralston says Fort Sill not only dodged the bullet in the latest round of cuts, but actually gained about 200 jobs.
What it'll be in the future, though, we're not sure. There'll probably be another round of cuts. It depends if sequestration continues to hold or not.
The failure of Congress to pass a budget resolution and avoid sequestration remains the wild card in Oklahoma's military future. Cooper says without a long-term agreement on the budget, sequestration will force the Army to cut nearly $500 billion over the next 10 years, and there are no guarantees some of those cuts won't be made in Oklahoma.